Welcome to 28 class 28 of secretarial practice. So in this class we are going to deal with the number of directorship. So what is this directorship? So directorship is nothing but a single person can hold the office of director in how many companies. Okay, so that means a directorship. So it says that no person shall hold the office of a director at the same time in more than 15 companies. Okay, so what does it mean? If a person is already a director of 15 companies, so he cannot hold the office as a director in a 16th company also. Suppose he is appointed as a director in the 16th company, the appointment in the 16th company shall have no effect unless within 15 days, within 15 days he vacates one of the previous offices in which he is already a director. So which mean at a time you cannot hold a directorship in more than 15 company, and suppose you are going to hold the office in more than 15 company, so for example 16 company. So if you want that office as a director, you have to vacate any one of the previous office which you have already, or you are already working as a or holding a office as a director. So there are some following things, or while calculating the number of companies or number of 15 companies, so some companies are not included. So one is if it is a private company, if it is an unlimited company, if an association not carrying on business for profit, or an association which prohibits the payment of dividend, a company in which he is only the alternate director. So what does it mean? So when you are going to calculate the 15 companies, so these companies are not included. Suppose you are a director of 15 companies and the 16th company is a private company or unlimited company, or the company which is, or association, or the company which is not for profit, or the association which do not have a payment dividend, or it is not going to pay any dividend, or the company in which company you are only the alternate director. So what happens here? You need not vacate the previous office, because these companies are not at all considered in the 15 companies. Okay, so if the directorship is more than 15 companies, so what you do, you are going to hold the directorship in 15 companies and also plus 16th company also, and you are not going to vacate that office before 15 days or within 15 days. So what happens here? You are punishable with a fine which may go up to the rules, so which will go up to 50,000 per company after the first 15 companies. So suppose you are having a directorship of 17 company, so up to 15 company you will not have fine. So the rest 2 company, so 50,000 plus 50,000. So for every company after each 15 company, so you will be having a fine up to rupees 50,000. The next is qualification share or share qualification. So under the Companies Act, only an individual can act as a director. Okay, so what does it mean? Any firm, any association, any club, so any corporate, so they are that we call it as a separate entity, and that separate entity is not eligible to be the director. Okay, so we call company or the corporate as a separate entity or a artificial person. So this artificial person cannot be treated as a director. So director will be the person or the individual, okay, the natural person. So it says that only individual person can act, or individual can act as a director of a company. Firms, associations, body corporate, etc. are not eligible to become a director of company. So now surprising thing is So there is no qualification prescribed for the director. Okay, so there is no qualification prescribed for the director. So they do not say you should have an academic qualification, you should have a technical or professional qualification to become a director of the company. Okay, but the table A, in table A there is a regulation, or the 66th regulation says that if a person wants to be the director of a company, so that person should have the shares, or that person should purchase at least one share of the company. Okay, one share of the company. The articles of the company generally provide for such qualification share, so that the directors will have a personal interest in the company. So if there is a personal interest in the company, if the director has a personal interest in the company, and if he is going to purchase the qualification share, so he will be the director of company. So here, where the article is going to provide the qualification shares, section 270 requires that, so such qualification share should be obtained within how many days? Within 2 months within 2 months of the appointment of director. So if you have shown the interest to be the director and you are appointed as a director, within 2 months of being director, you have to purchase the qualification share. And the nominal value of qualification share should not exceed rupees 5,000. Okay. So now, where the nominal value of the share exceeds rupees 5,000 rupees. So if the director fails to obtain the qualification share, so within 2 months of appointment, he shall cease to be, or he will be vacant, or he will be leaving his office. If a person holds the office of a director without holding the qualification share, so he will be punishable with a fine, so that will be up to rupees 500 per day till the default is going to be continued. Okay, so one who is going to hold, one should note that holding the share warrant shall not be deemed to be sufficient qualification. Okay, only shares must be held. So until the required number of shares are registered in the name of the director, he is not qualified. So to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so a joint holding of shares will be sufficient for share qualification if the article is silent. If the article is silent means if the article permits. The next is disqualification of directors. So what is this disqualification of directors? So section 274 provides that the person shall not be capable of being appointed a director of a company. So one is if he is unsound mind, which means he is mentally retired, or he is undischarged insolvent, or if he has declared as an insolvent person, or he has applied to be adjudicated as an insolvent and his application is still pending before the court, which means the court does not or have still not declared that the person is insolvent. Okay, so he is been convicted for doing something immoral thing, or he has not paid for the qualification shares and 6 months have already been passed from the last fixed off for such payment. So he is disqualified by any order of court under section 203 of Act for the purpose of preventing the fraudulent person from managing company.